In Wake Up Money, a recent study reveals home prices will continue to drop, meaning a good rate for home buyers. Hopefully, they'll continue to drop. Foreclosures might also, though, be an option for you. And joining us this morning is Chris Schilling with Turbo Realty. And Chris, we did talk about this topic last week, but there were a few important issues that we missed. So let's go over those again. So let's say you're interested in a foreclosure. It seems like a good deal to you, but there could be some problems lurking.
Yeah, you bet. And so we really need to talk about the steps. And so the first step is to make sure that once you get under contract is to have the home inspected by a licensed professional inspector, because the banks generally don't disclose, because they haven't ever occupied the property, so they have no idea what things work, what things don't work. So you need to bring someone in that can look behind the walls and really kind of get a good sense of what's going to need to be fixed. Because a lot of times whenever you buy a foreclosure, it's as is, where is. And the banks aren't willing to do any repairs on those things. And so we want to make sure that we know what we're getting ourselves into.
So the bank owns this property. What kind of problems might we run into?
Some of the problems may be that they've actually gone in and ripped out the copper plumbing that's behind the walls.
Not the bank, though, the former owner?
Well, or just, because it's been vacant for so long, a lot of times people will go in because copper prices have gone way up. So they'll go and remove those things. I've seen it where they've gone and removed the air conditioning units, where they've removed the hot water heater, or just generally plumbing and fixtures.
So these may not be things that you can see just on a general walkthrough. You really need to get an inspector involved.
Well, you can probably see the surface, but you don't know the extent of the damage that may be lurking behind the walls. Or, for instance, if they've done some sort of damage trying to remove something, maybe it's leaked behind the walls and now you have either mold or mildew, and so you really need to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. So get it inspected. The other thing that's really neat about the banks owning it is that a lot of times the banks will do special financing on these properties because they already own them.
And they want to get rid of them because it costs them money to keep.
They totally want to get these things off their books. And so depending on the bank and depending on the property and how long they've had it, they may do some special incentives as far as interest only, lower payments. So there's some things that you can work with the bank in order to get a better deal.
And then what about changing the locks?
You bet. So here, whenever you buy the house, you're going to close in the afternoon. Make darn sure that you've scheduled to have the locks changed on that property, because you just don't know who has a previous key to that property. A lot of those keys, because they're foreclosures, they may be the same key for hundreds of homes, and so you just don't know who has access to that home. You can't change the locks until it closes and funds. A lot of people get that confused. Closing is when you sign the papers, and funding's when the money shows up. So closing late on a Friday afternoon may not be the best idea, because if the money doesn't show up until Monday, now you've got the property just kind of in limbo over the weekend, and so then who's responsible for it?
Okay, so let's go over everything. So you want to make sure that you locate one of these homes, you get an inspector involved, try and bargain with the bank because they want to get rid of this property.
You bet.
Get the locks changed. Is there anything we missed?
Move in and enjoy it.
Okay, all right. Hopefully we don't run into any pitfalls. All right, thanks so much, Chris.
You bet.